There are cars that everyone knows about. Their coolness cannot be disputed. The one who argues is an outstanding person, something like this. So,
Closer to the people. Still, higher than the bourgeoisie, lower than the Communist Party here.
here it is. Shishiga. The history of the creation of the car is simple, like the whole history of the domestic auto industry. The party said it is necessary, and the car was made. The first prototypes were ready in 1957. The only thing that prevented the employees of the Gorky plant from launching a car into a series was the lack of the necessary power plant. It appeared a little later, about 5 years later. The design is simple, primitive, but reliable. The frame rests on axles with leaf springs. The cabin with the engine is installed on top. And that's it. The one behind is commissioned by the ministry and departments. We were lucky this is an onboard, well, body, to put it simply, because for the most part, cars plowing the expanses of our former vast motherland are Kongs. What do we have here? Hinged sides that turn into benches for transporting personnel. Feature of Shishiga, pay attention to the rear axle. The beam is no longer composite, as in the machines of that period, and is no longer cast, but stamped, and that means weight loss. By the way, due to the fact that the front and rear axles are equally loaded, the front and rear springs are the same, respectively. On the one hand, this is good, but there are also disadvantages, which I will talk about a little later. Well, now I propose to move on to the engine, which can only be fully reached by tilting the cab. By the way, such a layout of the car for our car industry was a curiosity, but met all expectations. Stamped elements were welded into a strong structure. Technological panels were screwed. Okay, let's unlock the cockpit first. Everything is blocked. Here it is, ZMZ 513, one of the first V-engines for trucks, installed on the GAZ53 and GAZ3307. By the way, look what a small steering gear, it is a worm gear. Do you understand? But with hydraulic booster. Let's go over a little on the indicators of ZMZ 513. 8-cylinder, carbureted, gasoline, overhead valves, 260 cubic inches, 125 horsepower at 3200 to 3400 RPM. The maximum torque is 284 at 2000 RPM. The engine is made of aluminum alloy. Since the motor is V-shaped, it has two cylinder heads with a 90 degrees camber. The design provides for only one camshaft. A lot of opinions about the motor, but mostly good reviews. Problems often happen from inept hands and bad spare parts. You can fix it in the field. Okay, let's close. Yeah, it was created for gymnast gnomes, and it was probably planned that they would throw it from an airplane with them. What do we have here? And we have nothing here but iron. Only it. The hood, by the way, you can get to the engine, but it doesn't help much. Of the instruments, speedometer, temperature, there is nothing here, oil. But it is so that you can warm yourself in winter. But the most important thing in this lack of everything is a tire inflation system. Sand, arable land, swamps, you lowered the wheels and you go. There's a handle right here in the back. I thought I broke something again, but I hope it will not be useful to us today, because I was lucky it had not rained for a long time, and it seems to me that we won't find off-road at all. It also has an air conditioning system, by the way, and machine of the 90s of release and 60s of development. Here, on both sides, is the forced air conditioning system of the cabin. Well, in addition to 2 more vents. In general, that's all. That's right, I completely forgot. Hooks. Do you know what these hooks are for? These hooks are for hanging up the hammock, so that later a fighter could sleep in this hammock. But to be honest, I have never seen it live in my life. I can't even imagine how to hang this hammock. I can't imagine how you can climb into this hammock. So guys, if you have a hammock like this, got it? Uncle Vanya, there is a hammock. Let's agree. I'm closing.
Splint, splint, splint. Splint, splint, splint.
1, 2. Lord, why am I punished like this? I'm starting the car. V8, gentlemen, V8. It's good that the box is not upside down here. The first is the first. First, second, second. With God blessing. The box is 4-speed, synchronized speeds, yes. Above, but so you don't understand. Therefore, a double squeeze is good. On the track, the car is a screaming beast that does not want to drive, but it does, and can carry 2 tons. The car must not be overloaded. The springs are not the strongest, they can break through, but the car is running. Drinks 9 gallons of fuel, but it's on hard surface. Power steering. It even helps out on the road. Brakes, well, such ordinary brakes from GSE, which, as it were, do not exist, but somewhere below they link and are very reliable. A good thing, but a peculiar one. And what is the turning radius of this car? You know, even passenger cars can envy this radius. Gear knob. Well, probably, only the lazy did not scold it. It's so crooked to place it somewhere in the back, like you're trying to scratch someone's leg. Well, I don't know. Well, bend over like that. Well, there is no point in scolding, this is a design feature. Otherwise, it's a very noisy, tough, but cool car. Really cool. You feel like a Superman. Shishiga was born for another life. Asphalt is only to get to the goal, to the dirt. So, what do we have here to conquer off-road? Still, it is important to remember that this is not just a car for a quiet ride on city roads. 2-speed transfer case, 12.4-inch ground clearance and front and rear axle cam differentials. In addition, the wheel inflation system. The weight of the car, by the standards of fellows, is small, 3.5 tons. To be honest, visibility, well, such a mediocre one. Someone will say that the trucks of that period had panoramic windows on the foreign trucks, but engineers are not fools. They were installed here, you know, from the very beginning. But the experience of interaction with Russian branches and stone showed that small and flat things are easier to change. Due to the correct weight distribution, the car, even descending from a parachute, got up on 4 wheels. The pressure on the ground at Shishiga is even, the overhangs are small. The margin of safety is for centuries, which is confirmed by many years of operation in different parts of the world. Now it will be difficult. Cam lock, this is a self-block. It is possible to explain, but very difficult. In theory, it turns on when one wheel slips. Now, I will try to explain to you on my fingers. If I misinterpret something, I'm sorry. Inside the hub and the glasses are fingers, such iron bushings. And if suddenly one wheel turns, centrifugal force pushes out these steel cotter pins, I don't know, fingers, and the hubs are blocked. I try to explain as simply as possible. As I understand it, I hope it is understandable. In fact, turning them on a tired car, well, it doesn't always work out. But there is one very sure way. I have already tried it a couple of times. Which, of course, the internet suggested to me, and now I will try to explain it to you. In short, the principle is simple. Turn on a lower speed, give more gas, and abruptly drop the clutch. I didn't turn something on. Oh, the synchronization is missing. So, step on the gas and drop the clutch. Something should crackle inside, but don't be scared. If something didn't fall off right away, then in theory they turned on. But that's not accurate. I won't get tired of repeating that domestic trucks are something absolutely special. I do not argue, for sure, and the old foreign cars are about the same in terms of worldview, in terms of sensations, they are amazing. Definitely, it is. But you experience something else, you understand, you feel how much you are the winner of all this, of off-road. Well, if you have a head on your shoulders, of course. The 66th forgives a lot of mistakes and allows you to do quite a lot with yourself. But it's very difficult to film it because it's shaking here. GAZ-66 is the most massive army truck in our country. In 1999, the last Shishiga left the plant. The number of cars built was a little less than 1 million units. By the way, Shishiga was also produced in Ukraine in Kremenchuk. Machines are operated in all republics of the former USSR. There are practically no countries in the world that the wheels of the 66 would not pass through. And how many awards the car has? In 1966, a gold medal at the Modern Agricultural Machinery Exhibition in Moscow. 67th year, gold in Leipzig. In April 1969, the GAZ-66 was the first Soviet car to receive the state quality mark. I erected a monument to myself not made by hands. On the contrary, a car is a monument. A monument to our Lord, our past. So that, realizing it, boldly go into the future. Guys, without the past there is no future. The hunt continues.